بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You are listening to Sayyidina Omar Institute Radio. This is the Sovereign Compass, where we pause and reflect on the forces shaping our lives, our families, and our future. Today's reflection is titled Beyond Extraction, Reclaiming Human Flourishing. Across the world, birth rates are falling. Australia has reached a historic low. Singapore has fallen even further. South Korea has become one of the clearest signs of demographic collapse. The usual response from governments is predictable. Baby bonuses, tax rebates, small subsidies. But this assumes that bringing a child into the world is merely a consumer decision, as though a young couple sits at the kitchen table and says, if the rebate is large enough, perhaps we can afford another soul. That is not how life works. This is not only a demographic crisis, it is a crisis of meaning. We have made life expensive, families fragile, homes unaffordable, education anxious, and work all-consuming. Then we ask why people are afraid to have children. The answer is not difficult. We have built an extractive system, a system that takes energy from the young, takes time from parents, takes dignity from workers, takes peace from homes, takes attention from children, takes wealth from families through housing, debt, and artificial wants. Then, after extracting from the human being, it wonders why the next generation is not being born with confidence. This is what happens when the human being is no longer seen as a sacred trust. When a person becomes only an economic unit, the home becomes a cost center. Children become opportunity costs. Parenting becomes a burden against career progress. Family life becomes something people delay until all the numbers look safe. But the numbers never look safe because the system itself is built on insecurity. Islam gives us another way of seeing. The human being is not a production asset. The family is not a private lifestyle choice. The child is not an economic liability. Life is amana. Wealth is amana. Time is amana. Knowledge is amana. The next generation is amana. Allah did not place us in this world merely to optimize ourselves for consumption and career advancement. He placed us here to worship Him, to act with justice, to cultivate taqwa, to uphold trust, and to leave behind goodness that continues after us. This is why the seerah remains so important. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered a society that understood trade, wealth, status, and power. Makkah was commercially alive, but revelation did not allow wealth to become the measure of human worth. The orphan mattered, the widow mattered, the poor mattered, the child mattered, the stranger mattered, the household mattered, the community mattered. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam built people. He formed hearts. He restored responsibility. He taught that society does not flourish when the strong extract from the weak. It flourishes when trust is protected. So, the question before us is not simply how do we increase birth rates? The deeper question is what kind of society gives people the confidence to build families? What kind of economy gives space for children to be welcomed? What kind of community supports parents instead of leaving them alone? What kind of education forms adab and wisdom, not only credentials? If we want renewal, we must move from extraction to stewardship. That begins by reprioritizing needs over wants, secure housing, wholesome food, time for worship, time for family, time for reflection, community support. These are not luxuries. They are the soil in which human life grows. Then we must treat wealth properly. Wealth is not the purpose of life. It is a tool. When wealth becomes the goal, accumulation becomes virtue. Housing becomes speculation. Education becomes competition. Children become expensive interruptions. But when wealth is treated as a tool, it can build homes, support families, strengthen communities, and serve the next generation. We should not wait for governments to solve a crisis of meaning with policy adjustments. The work must also begin at the community level. We need to revive the spirit of gotong royong, mutual help, shared responsibility, communal care. Families need support around them. Parents need breathing space. Children need safe circles of adab, learning, and belonging. Young couples need to see that they are not alone. This may begin small: a home, a halaqah, a neighborhood, a masjid, a group of families who decide that life should not be surrendered entirely to the market. The global population crisis is not merely a statistical event. It is a spiritual and structural audit of modern civilization. A society that no longer wants to reproduce is a society that has lost confidence in tomorrow. It has chosen accumulation over renewal, comfort over sacrifice, extraction over amana. But we do not have to accept this as normal. We can rebuild. We can restore the family as a sanctuary. We can restore adab as the foundation of education. We can restore wealth as a servant, not a master. We can restore community as a protection around the household. And we can restore Tawheed as the center of life. True development is not measured only by capital, productivity, or markets. It is measured by the presence, vitality, and laughter of the next generation. For a fuller discussion of this essay and related reflections, visit my Substack page, farhadomastudios.substack.com. May Allah make us people of amana. May He protect our homes, strengthen our families, and allow us to build communities worthy of the next generation. I'm Farhad, and this has been a reflection from the Sovereign Compass. Stay purposeful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.